In Coated Arms, one of the most interesting things that we did with the multiplayer mode is to, it's really easy game to play. I mean, it's something that 4 guys can get together and play and just have loads of fun. I mean, what makes it different than playing on a console is that you can bring it anywhere you want. Some of the coolest weapons that you actually get in the game are something called like the Salamander, which is our version of the flamethrower. There's also grenade launchers, RPGs. There are other things like more traditional, such as sniper rifles, pistols, assault rifles. Basically, you get the whole gamut of stuff. And you get certain things that are like time bombs, in which you kind of throw them like landmines. You can bring these weapons. Basically, the more you play in single player, you can bring some of these awesome weapons that you can't get in multiplayer and bring them into the multiplayer mode. So it basically gives you more incentive to go through the single player mode. But when you start playing multiplayer, you can actually play either the preset maps or randomly generated maps. And if you like a particular map over another map, it comes up with a code, a preset code, in which you can actually load up that particular map and bring up your favorite map. So it gives the player much more accessibility into choosing whatever kind of game mode they want, either totally random, so nobody knows how the map's set up, or kind of like a preset map. In Coated Arms, there are 3 different multiplayer modes. One is Keep the Mark, which is basically you keep the mark as long as you can, and you get points the longer that you carry it. So basically, everybody's going after the person who has the mark. The second multiplayer mode that we have is Deathmatch, and that's pretty much free-for-all, how many kills, very similar to other games. And the third mode that we have in Coated Arms is something a little even more basic, which is called Last Man Standing. So basically, there are no respawns in the game, and whoever stays alive the longest is the winner. There's a lot of cool little options that you can do. So for example, as you're playing through the multiplayer section, there are all kinds of pickups that you can get, such as invisibility, armament upgrades so that your weapon becomes 30% more powerful. There's unlimited ammunition. There are upgrades such as invisibility, so what you can do is you can snipe from position and nobody can see you. So basically, there's a lot of different upgrades that you can do. Pretty much most everything is changeable in the game. The maps in Coated Arms, especially in the multiplayer, you can actually select from small, medium, and large maps and different sectors of the game. So you can select, the ruin sector, the city sector, or the base sector, and you can mix and match all of them so that you can get totally different maps in themselves. And then in that, you can select type 1, type 2, type 3. So basically, there's a lot of different types of maps that you can actually choose. You can do preset, or you can do totally random. Coated Arms for the PSP, it's a game in which you can play single player on it, but what really makes this game shine as well is the multiplayer mode. The multiplayer in itself is very different than the single player mode because you can import your weapons that you find in single player into the multiplayer gameplay. And what makes this multiplayer section of Coated Arms fun is that it's really easy to pick up and play, and a lot of people worried about, how's it going to control on a portable unit? And as you can see from the footage, it's really easy to control. You can map any buttons to the game, so that if you don't want the jump button on the left trigger, you can put it on the right trigger, or you can put it to a triangle button. It's really up to you. So everything from a control perspective, if people are worried about it, you can map it yourself. However you like to control FPS games. And it's the first FPS game for the PSP, and we really think that it brings all the fun and excitement of FPS games from consoles to computers into the portable realm. And I think this is the first time in which FPS games look the way that they do on the PSP. I mean, no other game looks the way that Coated Arms does.